Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the HollingsWorthless podcast. This will be for Wednesday, November 4th. And I am your host, Big Irish J. Hollingsworth, and we have with us Mighty Morphin, Manny Martin, the McCannibal, and as always, we have the Phil-Anthropist, a.k.a. Jonah Phil, a.k.a. T-Town Philly, a.k.a. Oh, Jesus
Hannah
Christ.
Phil Lecter.
What are you doing with your jaw? That's not a good way to start. Phil Fox is in the fucking... Guess who's back? Back again. Phil Fox.
Yeah. 1 2 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 3 3 3 knockout.
Oh my god.
So much to go over. Phil. So I've kind of kept people updated if they listen to the podcast about what you've been going through. You know, I originally, kind of just to give a backstory if somebody's just coming in right now and they don't know. So back in October of last year, fuck, dude, that's crazy. I mentioned that you had some personal stuff you were dealing with, and that's all I said, and that you were going to be gone for a while. Then I think it was maybe a month or 2 or 3 after, I don't know when it was, you came on the podcast and told us what your personal issues were or whatever, and I wanted it to be something you wanted to say if you wanted to say it. So, and you had told everybody that you were, what was it? You were addicted to heroin?
I was a junkie.
Okay. So you're a junkie. And that was, when was that? Do you remember when that was?
That was about 2012.
No, shut up. Not when you started. I'm saying when you came on the podcast.
I know. Well, I mean, back to the movie was last October.
Yeah.
When you guys
October 2019.
found it out. Yeah, but when we talked last and I kind of came clean about everything, I think that was only about a month and a half ago or so.
No. Because you were on there and you were telling us that you were, I think that was might have been around February or March, because I think you were saying you're going to try and, you're trying to kick it. And then over the next few months, all of us at different times would hit you up or whatever, or you would hit us up and you would tell me, hey, I'm 4 days sober. And then, And then a month would go by and you're like, okay, I'm 2 days sober. I'm doing good. This and that.
I just didn't realize, was I talking about me being on heroin on the podcast at that time?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But then we did encapsulation of all of that right before I went into treatment.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, hours before you went.
Yeah, exactly. That was 45 days ago, roughly. You and I think it was me, you, and Sean. Manny, you weren't on that, right? It was just
no,
Sean.
I wasn't on that one.
Okay. And Phil said he was going into rehab. And so where we're at now is you were in rehab for 40 days, no access to computers, internet, none of that shit, right?
Yeah, and I thought for this podcast, I would throw it all away. No, I'm just kidding.
You just fucking start smoking right now.
52 days clean today.
Oh,
Awesome.
yes. Fucking.
Yeah, man.
That's fucking great,
buddy.
Phil. And and so you left the rehab place, and what's it called now that you're in? Is it called like a halfway house, or what is it?
Oh, yeah. This was enjoyable listening to you guys trash talk my living situation.
No, we weren't trashing it. I just didn't know what it was called.
Yeah. I'm living with Precious down fucking on 84th and Hosmer. It's called the housing that I live in. There's an organization that's been around for, about 100 years, I think. They're called Oxford. So it's an Oxford house, and basically they're just a group of people. They have men's houses and women's houses, women with children's houses, men with children's houses. And it's a group of people that are all in recovery, and they try to help keep each other accountable. So for the first 30 days, I have a curfew. I can't stay out till later than 10 on the weekdays, 11 on the weekends. I can't have any overnight guests for the first 30 days. So you just have to fuck during the day. There's chores you have to do twice a week. Kitchen duties.
Is there fucking going on in there?
Well, me and my roommate are pretty platonic right now, but no. Yeah, there's this dude that has kids with this chick, his baby's mama, and she comes over a couple nights a week, and then the other nights of the week there's different girls he brings into his room with him. So he's getting it. But as far as recovery goes, in the program of either Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous, they tell you not to get in a relationship for your first year. That does not include fucking, but that does mean no loving relationships for your first year. So you can focus on your recovery and, yourself, and make sure that you have a good foundation to grow from.
You look like you wanted to say something, Sean.
I'm taking it all in. So, where's your head right now? Like, how do you feel right now?
I feel good, man. I feel like I have a much more positive outlook on life. I, have learned a lot about acceptance, accepting the things that have happened or the things that I have even done, that I may regret, and just have learned to accept them and realize that I don't need to hold on to them and be resentful of things, and just continue to live from this moment on, and I can live a good life from this moment on, because I have the choice over my attitude every single day. I can't control anything else outside of me, but I can control what's inside of me. And that's, my choices and my attitude. And so, I had a couple really good one-on-one sessions with some counselors. And the first counselor that I had, I was in her room for about 3 minutes, and she was asking me about suicide and if I've ever had any like suicidal thoughts and things like that. And I described to her that I have, and she was asking me, like how, if I've thought about how I would do it and things like that. And, I kind of started talking about it, and all of a sudden, as I start describing it, I can start feeling just the emotions like welling up inside of me. And I just start fucking bawling right in her chair. I'm like 3 minutes into the conversation with this stranger lady, and I'm bawling, and I look at her because this is what she does.
And she's just masturbating.
And then I got hard because she's crying, and
She doesn't even work there.
And I looked at her, and I just go, did you do this? Did you do this on purpose? Did you make this happen? Because if you did, you're fucking genius. Because I don't know how to get somebody to just open up and cry like that when I haven't cried like that for years. And I did it in 3 minutes with this lady. So it was like there was just things that were ready to just get out of me. And I haven't had that opportunity to do that with anybody really ever, I guess, or at least in a long time. And the second one was even more healing, I guess. And that was the second one. I felt like my whole life changed. I mean, I was able to just realize a lot of shit that I'd never realized, either within my family or myself. And that I, can control myself, and I don't have to let others affect how I feel. And it's not my responsibility if other people don't feel the way I want them to, or if they don't feel happy about my decisions, because I'm not responsible for their happiness. I'm not responsible for, for how they feel about what I do, which I kind of already said. But, and so that was just a huge, huge epiphany for me. And it may sound so simple, but to not know how to cope for most of your life, which is no fault of your own, but if you weren't taught good coping skills, and I don't understand why the fuck they don't teach this stuff in schools, but they should definitely learn how to teach, how to cope with your emotions in school, I believe. But, that was the moment it all came together. I felt it inside of me. And then beyond that, just, all the tools of just relapse triggers and how to be aware of them and what you can do to avoid them or turn them off. And just a lot of, getting familiar with the programs of AA and NA. So yeah, man,
couple
I'm in a much
thing-
better spot.
That's a couple things. So, you're saying you can't worry about other people's happiness, which you've been following in your stand-up for years, right? But the other thing, there's something else you said.
That's good.
Oh no, I was gonna say, Sean mentioned this before we started recording. You look fucking great. Like you look, you know, like your energy, your clear-headedness, I guess you'd say.
Am I glowing? Am I glowing?
Gained
Well,
weight.
Yeah,
I
and
mean-
I'll I also think you put on weight. I mean, which is
Yeah,
great because you were looking really skinny at that. Like during that whole venture of during Halloween and on, I was just like, man, you lost a ton of weight, but you look good. You look healthy now.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I put on 20 pounds in treatment. I was happy with how skinny I was, but it wasn't a healthy skinny by any means, you know. I wouldn't recommend the heroin diet to anybody.
Yeah. Now you've told me and Manny, or maybe I relayed it to Manny, about some of the stuff that you figured out in counseling. But before you know what I'm talking about, right, Phil? But before you get to that,
Yes, I do.
before you get to that, I want to go over me, you, and Manny driving to Richland, and Manny almost getting in an accident, laughing at some of the stories you told us, because I want to try and give some of the backstories before you were in counseling and figured some stuff out. Do you know what I'm
Right.
talking about, Phil?
Yeah, I mean, if we tell those stories, isn't it gonna just kind of lead up to that anyway? Okay. Well, I understand what you're saying.
Because the way you said that your counselor, when you talked to your counselor about it, and your counselor's like,
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know what?
So,
Can I
got you.
wait?
tell us
Can
about
I-
some of the stuff like when you were in it.
Can I just
in
say
LA.
too, in Jokers,
Yes.
I don't know, Manny, if you ever told Jay or not, but I mean, you know, as far as my addiction goes, like when we were at Jokers in Richland, and I got super fucked up with you, Manny, when we went out, and I took off my clothes and stuff at that fucking Halloween party because I wanted to win that Halloween contest, or just be entered in. They wouldn't even like consider me anyway. Resentment, but no.
You didn't even get to enter it, and you were still naked.
Well, they
There's a
weren't-
video somewhere.
Anyways,
They
weren't
said it wasn't a
considering-
big enough costume.
Wait until I unzip it and it comes out like a big monster.
Then
Hey,
what?
can I interject just one thing?
Sean,
so-
then what?
So, Phil, quick question for you. Like, just a little backstory. Like, just as far as like your upbringing, I remember you saying that like sexuality was like very fluid in that house, right? It was like, I think that you know, if I remember correctly, you said that like your dad caught you and your cousin, you know what I mean, at one point, like with
Well,
a chick.
That
Yeah.
sounds a lot worse per se than it is.
Was it just
No,
facts,
I
though,
mean,
bro?
you know.
Isn't that just
Well,
truth?
Well, here's the facts. If you want the tea, I'll brew it. All right. And here we go.
Oh
Here
my
it is.
God.
All right.
Oh my God! Call you Mr. T, Clubber Lang.
So
Oh my
Clubber
God.
Lame.
so my sister and I are brother and sister. I don't know where I was going with that. But she had a friend, right? She had a friend, and me and my cousin were all out the night before Thanksgiving, and this chick was cute, and she was kind of like hitting on me that night, and she was also hitting on my cousin, and I was like, oh, you know, what's going on here? She kind of likes both of us, and I went to my cousin, and I was like, hey, you know, maybe we should.
You're like, hey, let's get rid of this girl, and me and you fuck.
And she said she was down, and so we got back to my parents' house, which is where you perform threesomes with a cousin, and we went into my old bedroom, and we proceeded to, you know, put her on the rotisserie, and and spin her a few times to 450, you know, so she was, you know, nice and warm and ready to eat. Anyways,
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Oh my
I don't know. But anyway, yeah, we
God.
fucked her. And yeah, it was me and my cousin, and it was kind of weird. And then after that, at the end the next day, I was like, "Did we just do incest or whatever?" And he was like, "No, we didn't. Touch each other. We're good." And my dad, though, he knew, and so he was like, he texted me the next day. He's like, "So did you and your cousin cross swords?" And I'm like, "Fuck, I thought we kept it a secret. Dad knows." But I also walked in on my dad, fucking my mom's best friend the night before 4th of July. And I thought that was a little too soon for fireworks to be going off, but apparently my dad didn't think so.
How long have you been holding on to that? Did you want to tell this whole story just to get that out?
Oh fuck.
You gotta pepper him in, and so fucking guys. And so anyway, yeah. So I was like shocked. I never, I'd always kind of had suspicions that my parents were swingers, but I never had any confirmation. And after that, I was like kind of upset. And then the next day, my dad just said, "Hey, you don't need to say nothing to your mom. She knows, we swing a bit." And I was like, "Whoa, okay, like, sorry, I didn't know it was my fault that I walked in on you fucking my mom's friend." But, and so my mom verified that, and she was like, "Yeah, we."
Oh, so you did ask her, you fucking narc?
Well, no, she
Snitch
obviously
ass.
knew I knew, and she came to me and was just like, "Yeah, we do that. I'm okay with it." And I was just like, "Holy shit, this is gross." And so, I don't know. I've just been a very open person, and I've gotten very drunk, and I've like
Okay, so are you getting into?
Yeah.
You're in L.
So
Okay, so you're in LA.
we were in the back of the car. We were driving to Richland, and I can't remember how it got brought up, but you guys were asking me about, you had thought you had heard something from somebody telling you a story, I thought.
Oh
I think.
Yeah.
Mitch.
Oh, it was
Mitch had told
I
Jared.
remember. And yeah, so I was hanging out with the comic in LA, and right after we got done hanging out, I was in my car waiting to leave, and there was this dude sitting on the curb, like right outside his place, and I saw him just sitting there, just looking like he was up to no good, and so I rolled down my window and I was like, "Hey, what up, dude?" And he was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And I was like, "Not much, man." I was like, "What are you up to?" He's like, "Oh, not much," and then I don't know if it was him or me. One of us said, "Oh, like, do you want to like be up to something?"
Fucking smooth.
And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So he got in my car, and then he sucked my dick.
Here's the thing. I'm hearing
Is
all
that
these.
is that how you approached it? You're like, "Hey, what's funny is I call my dick up to no good."
Yes. I don't know. Yeah, we just like drove to a little area, and yeah, I don't know. He took me into his mouth,
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
But for me, I don't know. I close my eyes, and I just, it feels like a mouth. You know what I mean? And a mouth is a very fantastic place to be with your cock. So
I think Sean wants to say something. Hold on.
But hold on, man. So what does this, man? So does this mean? Is this like? Do people know this? Is this like a thing you're saying? Or
here's a good way to wait. Here's a good way to ask it, Sean. Was this like a one-time thing?
that right there, man.
So
go on, Phil.
So it all stems back to when I was 19, and I had this job, and I don't know, I just never. I thought, if you don't know if you like something, you got to try it to find out, right? You got to give it the old college try, as they say.
Right, Sean?
I'm just gonna go with the story for a minute.
And like, there used to be this comic, Mike Cummings, in Seattle, and he used to have a joke more or less like, you don't know if you like onions until you try onions, and I found out I didn't like onions. He's like the same with dick, and And so I was like, well, maybe I gotta find out. And so I had a girlfriend at the time, and I was away for work across the state, and I didn't know anybody out there. And at the time they had this magical place called Casual Encounters on Craigslist. And I went on there and I was like, hey, I've never done this before, but I was wondering if somebody might like to suck my penis. And
always the wordsmith.
Yeah. And I got so many dick pics in return. And I was like, man, I am just trying to see somebody's face. I want to know that they look like a sane, normal person. And finally found this one nice, Twinkie guy or something. And, nice, clean-shaven man, not too far from my age. And so I was 19. I was fresh 21. I'm sorry. Because we went to a bar and we got a beer and I talked to him and I said, I've never done this before. I don't know how this works. I don't know what to do. But I have a hotel room and, we can go there. And he was like, okay.
And by the way, I'm not, in case anybody's watching some video and watching my face, I'm not judging the dude part. I'm judging the game, dude. This is the fucking worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, did you do the scorpion?
It's a lot smoother in person. I'm just, I'm trying to get to the meats and the potatoes.
I don't know. Okay, go for it. This is
and
great.
The meats and potatoes. And so we go back to the hotel room and we get like a 6-pack. And I'm like, cool, I think I got to probably chug a couple of these.
Cocks.
This is such a different experience, motherfucker. And
what, the beer?
And so
God, I've missed you, Phil.
Yeah, so he like starts to try and like kiss me and stuff, and I was like, ugh, like don't do that. I don't like that. I was like, I can feel like your fucking whiskers and stuff, and I was like, I'm not into that. Don't do that. And then I was like, I think I just want you to suck my dick. And
wait.
Sean, go ahead, Sean.
We're gonna have to piece through it. I gotta understand that. So that says a lot, though, dude. If you didn't want to kiss that dude,
yeah,
doesn't that say something? Or no? What does that mean? I guess.
Well, I don't know. I guess
he's not a very giving lover. That's what it means, Sean.
I'm a great receiver. I'm a great receiver. I will tell you.
Hey, is that with chicks too, though? Is that the same with girls? Or you're into girls? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I love getting head. That's just something I love.
Do you like to kiss girls though? Like if a girl's trying to kiss you before she sucks your dick, you're down for that.
Yeah.
Do their whiskers bother you?
I do like making out.
Okay. All right. So that's interesting.
I just it felt very weird. Maybe it's just foreign or something, and so I just knew I wanted to try something different, and so I laid down and whatever, he did his thing, and I was like, yeah, it worked. It was like, okay, it got up and and it was 4th of July again, and so I was like, right on. And so then I'm not gonna just leave a guy hanging, so I tried to return the favor, and that wasn't my cup of tea. Wasn't my forte. I wasn't real enthusiastic about it. And
so
then he left. Yeah.
So you don't like kissing or sucking. You like to receive. You don't like to give anything.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hell's that?
Well,
mean?
I mean, on a dude, I guess, but.
So you tried to blow him. You're saying, but you were like gross.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, just for me. And then I took a very cold shower afterwards.
I'm just trying
to. Were you in the?
It doesn't.
Well,
make
my girlfriend
sense
called me right in the middle of it too, and I was like, "Shh, I gotta pick up the phone." And I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, sweetie? Yeah, I love you. Okay, I'll talk to you later." And then I was like, "Okay, keep sucking my dick."
Jesus.
Oh, so you took a phone call when all this was happening?
Yeah, I did that too. Yeah. So I had a girlfriend at the time. She never found out. I never told her.
This is some of the craziest. Yeah, this is nuts. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Dude,
it was nuts, all right.
Hold on, Manny. What were you saying, Manny?
I was literally in tears, like driving. I couldn't breathe because I'm like hearing this story for the first time. And I'm like, you got to stop talking because I'm literally going to crash. But then Sean, he goes into another story afterwards about this like little
the fat dude.
That was
Yeah. Okay,
yeah, well then,
finish.
it had been a long time since I had any sex or anything.
Wait,
that.
Are we done with the?
Yeah. So then he left the next day, and I just.
First of all, hold on. Don't get a fucking attitude with me. You sucked his dick. I didn't fucking do anything. I'm just trying to make sure we're done with the story.
Yeah, no. The end of that story is he ended up leaving, and I the first time I'd done anything like that, and I felt like really shameful and stuff. So I got in the shower and just kind of like I sat there on the tub for a minute, just like trying to wash off all the weird stuff on me, and cum. It was cum. No,
okay, hey, all right. So we're not being figurative at all. Like this is just a straight story.
Wait, did you make that dude come?
Well, I mean,
Manny.
Yeah. I helped him out,
Okay, all right. Okay, I got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. So you glazed over a part. No pun.
Glazed,
you glazed
yeah.
over this part at the end. You said, and then he left. But before that, you left the next morning. So he stayed the whole night with you.
Oh yeah, well, but there was two beds. I didn't want
okay.
to cuddle or anything like that. I was like, you can.
You weren't. That's what I was getting. Not into cuddling.
No.
Kissing.
No, because like I said, it was
else.
just so new, and I just didn't know. Like, I didn't know what. I guess there was just like moments of like. I just didn't even know the whole time if I still was like really about it or not, but.
Right.
It happened, and I didn't, I don't know. I just didn't want to like make him feel bad and just like throw him out or something like that. You know what I mean?
You didn't think saying, "Ooh, gross! I don't like that." When you tried to kiss me, you're like, "I don't want to make him feel bad now."
Well, yeah.
Okay,
So then there was another time when. I was at my grandparents' house. I was living there, and it had been a while. I hadn't had any play or anything, and so I went back onto the old trusty Craigslist, because if you need a fishing pole or some dick, you can get both.
Sometimes one and the same.
Yeah. So I set the bait, and anyway, and. I basically, maybe you can be blunt on there. You used to be real blunt. So I was just like, yeah, I just want somebody to come over, suck my dick, and then just leave. I don't ever want to like talk to you or like get your name or anything like that. You just come in. I'll just like take my dick out, you suck it, and then you just leave. And then somebody was like, yeah, I'm down. And I was like, I mean, I wish stuff could be that easy with women. And so, yeah, this dude just came over. I didn't know what he looked like or anything. I just, I couldn't have him come in the house because that would be weird, And so I just set up a folding chair in the backyard.
Why did you throw that would be weird before that part?
Oh, fuck, dude. Sean,
Because
Manny and I were in fucking tears. Manny had to pull over. We were dying.
Yeah. It was an amazing trip.
Oh, yeah.
There's some stranger inside my grandparents' house. So I put a folding chair in the backyard, sat down on it. I let him come in the back gate. And
so he fucked you.
No. I took down my pants and he went to town, little hobgoblin, and so again, I just again back, closed my eyes,
in your fucking chair.
But he was chubby checker, he was a big guy, and I don't know, it wasn't it just wasn't doing it for me, kind of, so he came there for a reason, and so I was like, hey, just like just keep your mouth on it. I'm just gonna jerk off in your mouth. So I just did that real
Sean's
quick and
face.
But dude,
in a
now
shop, you know.
you don't even need the mouth anymore. Like it's like this doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, it
It's
still
Phil.
feels good.
It's
It still
fucking
feels good.
Phil.
It makes all the sense, dude. It makes all the sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I had the hooker do that one time too. Is she just kept her mouth on my head and I just jerked off in her mouth. But she didn't want me to come on. She didn't want me to come in her mouth. I came in this dude's mouth. But anyway,
So you were more worried
but hold on,
about
hold on.
the hooker's
No,
feelings.
I'm getting it now. I'm getting it now. So what this is he doesn't like to kiss them and he doesn't like to sleep with them at night. He also wants them to suck. He wants them to suck his dick, but he doesn't like them actually putting their mouth on it.
no.
So now
no,
we're
I
at
say
a
that.
point where
he
all
wasn't
you actually
attractive.
like is that they lean back with their mouth open.
No. I said I lean
Like
back
a
with my
wishing
eyes
well
closed.
of your
No. They have their mouth over my head. I don't have them just keep their mouth open like a fucking like a well, like a wishing well, and I'm just like throwing my magical fucking
Right.
coins
This is-
into.
This is more like a Bellagio thing. It kind of just springs up and down. That's what you're trying to go for. Got it.
Yeah, I guess.
And
yeah.
did you tell? Were you like? I mean, I was gonna say were you rude to the guy, but we're already past that. Did you say anything to him like, you're kind of not really. I'm not really attracted to you, or you're kind of fat, or whatever.
No, I didn't say it.
that'd
I
be
just said, hey, man, I just gotta let me just jerk it into your mouth. This is the only way I'm gonna be able to get off. So anyway, so all these stories have happened in my life, and
That's not it though, right? There's others, right? Wasn't there? Was there one when you were in L.A.? Like trying to get drugs or something, or no?
Yeah,
but that
there
was
was
transactional though.
No. There was another time. It was actually up here in Seattle. I was at Neighbors nightclub, and some crazy shit went down.
Well, so
And I was like blacked out basically, and I don't know. Oh no, there was a couple more times. I don't know, man. I get drunk and then one time I was in Tacoma and I just got blacked out, and the next thing I knew I woke up in this dude's bed and we were like naked, and I was just like, whoa, what are we doing? And then I was just like, man, that's crazy. He just had to drive me home in the morning, but I don't know, man.
All right.
There's just some crazy stories.
Well,
This other time I
okay.
was in a dude's car, and we were doing some stuff. Like we were starting to go further than I had been before, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. And then I felt like he was kind of forcing me to do it and stuff. I was like, whoa. I was like, I don't know. And then I saw that dude again at the club another time that I went there, and I was like, I cornered him in the bathroom, and I was like, I did you think? I was like, I think that you might have raped me or whatever. He was
What?
like, well, I was like, I don't know. And then he was like, no, I didn't. And I was like, oh.
Did you expect him to go? Oh yeah, I did.
Well, he's just like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess we're good.
That was it.
I guess you would say.
Jesus Christ! Don't get a
don't
job
know.
at the police department.
yeah.
I
Man,
mean,
we've
I'm not trying to-
investigated your rape.
I'm not trying to make light of it, but I just remember I felt like when I came to, I was like, I think I didn't want to do all of the stuff that we did. And I was just like, I don't know if is he to blame for that? I don't know.
So,
Yeah.
question
Some
for
scary
you is,
situations, but let's also be clear that some of these situations, yes, I kind of went into them, but in the beginning willingly. I was a lot of the time also very fucked up and not very clear-minded. So let's just disclaimer that my addiction played into some of those accounts. So
Definitely.
So I'm not trying to make light of serious stuff, but
Yeah, not at all. But
yeah.
here's a question for you: when you talked to the counselor, how did the counselor address all that, and what did the counselor tell you?
Yeah.
Are we interrupting you, Phil? Are you playing fucking Candy Crush, or what's happening?
Yeah, what are you doing down there? You keep looking down.
I just had to take care of minor details.
Yeah.
Oh no. But anyways,
Oh, hold on. No, what were you doing?
huh?
What were you doing? Who are you talking to?
We're just getting some messages across. We're just, communicating mentally.
Cool. Thanks for the answer to my question. That's great.
He texted me about when he was in Seattle and he was dating someone way back in the day in Seattle, and he's like, "Oh, I hope that guy doesn't hear."
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, so I didn't like scare you guys from coming in, did I? Sorry, my sister just got here.
Which is also your pickup line to the guys you used to fuck with.
Yeah. So anyway,
I didn't scare you guys to come in, did I?
I apologize for the commercial
fine.
interruption. But anyways, so okay, so I get to, Olala, and I am talking to my counselor. That was the name of the recovery center. And I'm talking to my counselor, and I'm describing to her, how I've been depressed and, I have a failed relationship. And I was like, yeah. And then, I like mess with these dudes and stuff. And she was like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah. No, I've got gotten like head a lot from like dudes and shit. And she was like, wait. And I was like, well, yeah, that's another thing. I just don't know about like, that part of me. And she was like, what do you mean you don't know? She was like, I was like, well, you kind of, don't you have to like try stuff to find out whether or not you like it? And she was like, I think most straight guys, they don't normally even have to think about it. They just don't ever think about it to begin with. It doesn't come into their mind, those thoughts. They don't even cross their mind. That's why they're straight. And I was like, oh, okay. And
is that why you try to think those? Because is it really that you thought I need to try this in order to understand it, or was it just like there's like this common thread you keep saying, like if you don't get laid or if you haven't talked to somebody that's when you did it? Is it that?
Well, I don't know. Like, so I guess, so I mean, this is a lot of the reason why I use too, but as far as kind of my mantra for my life has always been, I like to live life for the experience, right? I want to know.
Yeah, you do.
I want to know what everything is like. You only get to live this life once, and I want to know what every single thing is like that's out there. I want to know what it is personally to have lived through it and to be able to say, I can relate to you. I've been there because I really have. And that's just powerful to me. And if that means
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Excuse me. This sums it up. Sean, Rhode Island, Comedy Connection, bug on the car window. Phil, $20. Will you eat it?
Oh,
it's like a 6-month or year-old insect.
Dude, and you know what that opened up was a whole another one happened too. I remember there was like it was right around there first off. I remember that, but there was also another one where there was like a half beer that had been spit in like by everybody and cigarette butts, but it was still juicy and there was some other shit. And I said, I'd give you $50 to drink it, and you did.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Dude, I just remember you
started with the bug.
That bug. Yeah, you eating the bug and going,
yeah, that was 20. Yeah, Jesus, man. That was
as long as it won't kill you, what's wrong with it?
No, that was, but dude, those are such fun stories, dude. That's a good time, man. That's some fun shit.
Sorry to interrupt you. It made me think of that.
No, that's what I live for, though. I live for the story. I live for the experience, and so, I guess part of that is seeing, what it's like to, have suck a dick or have somebody suck your dick. Yeah. I don't know, but but I'm not against it.
Hold on, what were you gonna say, Manny?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say it seems like, especially with your upbringing, like seeing your parents, that sexuality is really fluid. But to me, it seems like you're bi, but you're more straight than you are probably gay. Like on the spectrum, if this is the spectrum,
yeah,
here's gay, here's straight, then you're probably like in the middle of like,
yeah.
whatever that might
So
be.
I think I agree. I think I think while I was there, I, was trying to figure it out, and I was trying to, see where I see myself on that whole spectrum. And I, you know, if I was going, I don't really like labels to begin with, but I think if I was going to label it, I think I would consider myself like bi-curious / maybe bisexual. Um, but yeah, when I said that to my counselor, she was like, "Oh, well, you live near Seattle. Like, there's plenty of chicks in Seattle that are cool with some freaky shit." And I was like, "Right on, that'd be cool." I mean, I'd love to get it sucked by a girl and a guy at the same time. Talk about the power trip right there, man.
That's okay. So that
it is.
That yes, Sean. That's what I thought you were going with earlier, Sean. Is it's a lot of it seems like power with the dudes.
Yeah.
Don't kiss me. You're not an equal. You're not my equal. Yeah. Don't cuddle with me. I don't respect you like that.
It almost sounded like that you're gross for doing this, bro. Like that's what you think about the dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Because
I mean, I have a lot.
Yeah.
I have a lot of therapy I need to go to.
Hey, I want to say this though, man. I got to say this. I know I speak for everybody too here. Like, dude, you've got obviously somebody in the room with you, your sister or whatever. So you're talking about all this right in front of somebody right there. You're talking to all of us, and obviously you're talking to other people who know you on this audio thing. It's pretty dope that you're not even being odd about it, which is good because you shouldn't be. And that you can just talk about it. Obviously nobody here judges you because we've always known you're fucking weird. No, dude, but we all love you though. Because, dude, you're Phil Fox, dude. We've known you forever, man. We've all known each other forever. Yeah, and I think I like that you're doing this, dude, and I think it's a pretty strong move. I
appreciate it, and so that was the coolest thing. One of the coolest things, the most proud of that I am about being in treatment was the fact of just becoming comfortable about this part of me. I talked with a couple people in treatment before. I kind of announced it, but we had this moment in treatment where there's one session once a week where everybody sits in a circle and you can pretty much go into the middle of the circle and there's some chairs and you can say whatever you want, whatever's on your chest. It's your time to just spill the beans about whatever you want to talk about. And so I was like, I'm gonna talk about this. And so I let it out and I said, I think I've at least had questions about my sexuality for a while. And I was like, I just kind of practicing saying this. It's kind of tight in my gut right now when I say it, but I think I'm bi-curious, bisexual, and man, afterwards, like the outpouring of love from everybody and support was just like incredible and amazing because, there's so much fear before you ever say that kind of stuff out loud of how people are going to react or, they're going to reject you or take it negatively.
Why do you want to say it out loud?
Because it's a part of who I am and I need to be comfortable with who I am.
Does that
I don't want to hide a part of who I am. It tears me up inside. I mean, especially if I get in a relationship and if I do want to have an experience like that, I need to make sure that she knows or is comfortable with it because it might happen again. I might want to go down that road again. And I don't want to have to feel like if I wander astray, I have to keep it all bottled up and have this secret that I'm hiding and then I'm going to fucking go use again, So I'm talking about it because I need to stay sober and that's a part of my recovery, being honest and telling the truth.
Now, for those listening that maybe they don't know, so even before recovery or going into rehab or whatever, like myself and Manny and Sean, either we would reach out to you at different times. Sometimes you would respond, sometimes you wouldn't. And you've told me, that was your own thing. You were like, I felt bad or whatever. And then I've also, while you were in rehab, I was checking up on you and left you messages, call you or whatever. So when you, once you came to this realization or, acceptance, whatever the fucking term is, I'm bisexual or bi-curious, Did you at any point have any worry, like, I wonder how my friends, like, I mean, because I'd say we're probably your closest friends for the most part, you know, or were you like, oh, I know they won't give a fuck?
I definitely, you know, well, I know I already kind of went over those stories with you guys, and you already kind of were like, we don't give a fuck. So, you know, I kind of didn't think things would change there, but I still, you know, it's still very fresh for me to be talking about this openly. And so there's definitely, you know, right now, even I realize, like you said the other day, this ain't the fucking Tonight Show. I realize, you know, this isn't going to be heard by millions of people.
I mean, I can say
it. I'm honored to be on the HollingsWorthless podcast with DJ Hollingsworth. But you know, but we do have some listeners, and there may be some listeners that are like, they turned this off already, and they don't even hear me anymore because they just don't agree with it, you know. And and there's definitely that part of me that is still like kind of fearful about talking about this stuff. Another side of this whole thing is being comfortable with it. I would love to be able to talk about this stuff on stage. I would love to tell some of these ridiculous stories that have happened in my life on stage, and mine it for comedy. And you know, there's definitely a huge fear there, you know, about how some of the audience members might, you know, react to that, you know, after or even during, you know, somebody might call out the F word in the middle of the set or something like that, you know. And I don't even know how I would react. I don't even know. I've never had to deal with that yet.
Well, for you don't have to worry about the F word being funny. I actually have a question related to this, Phil.
Ouch.
When you were in it, when you were, you know, because you were doing heroin, you said, for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
At any point, and you've been doing stand-up about 8 years, 8 to 10,
somewhere around there. I mean, there's been quite a break.
Okay.
I don't know if
well,
I
here's
would say
here's
that.
my
I'd
question.
say 6 years.
Okay. Were you ever worried that, hey, if I get sober, then I won't be able to be funny? Because I know a lot of comics that have gotten sober from drugs or alcohol, they always say, like, I always worried that once I got sober, I wouldn't be funny anymore. Or guys like, I know Bobby Kelly has talked about, like, you know, you're supposed to always be depressed. You know, if things are going good, you can't be funny. And he's like, and that's not true. But I'm wondering, did you ever have that, or do you think you had that ever in the back of your head?
So for me, I definitely used to like to have a few drinks before I went on stage. But I've never really gone up like super high on drugs, really. I've never really thought that added to it. Alcohol, I thought, kind of added to it a little bit at times, but
it didn't.
I don't I don't think it really. No, it's not something I worry about. Now, there was a lot of cool things that I learned in treatment, man. And the one thing that I always have worried about is I take antidepressants, right? I do deal with depression, and I've even thought possibly there could be like some mild bipolar in there too. And my doctor doesn't necessarily disagree with me, because there's.
Does that mean you fucked an Eskimo?
Oh God,
Sean.
Good shit.
That's so bad.
Yeah, he was by. And
dude, why didn't you just let him hang on that on his
That was
own?
the fucking joke.
Come on. Oh.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
And so terrible. So I've always been fearful of being on those pills. I've always thought those pills will, you know, because when you have, you know, like, unfortunately, what the fuck happened to Brody Stevens, you know,
rest in peace.
you know,
Brody.
he was on his medication for a long time, and then, you know, something happens and you think that you're fine, you can handle it, or you think that it's, you know, not letting you be your true self, and so you stop taking those pills. And For some people, I mean, he was the real deal bipolar, and he went off of him, and you saw what happened. And so, you know, I've never really been a fan of taking medication to alter your mood, because I feel like it's not allowing you to be like your true self. But
but that's what you were doing with heroin.
Nice. Yeah.
Altering my mood, or what do you mean?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, but I wasn't using it on stage.
No, I know. No. Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah. I wasn't using it on stage. I was using it to regulate my mood at home. Yeah, I was using it to escape. So I am on antidepressants, but I was talking to this doctor at the treatment center, and he was, you know, kind of a holistic style doctor, kind of a hippie dude. And you know, I told him I do comedy and stuff like that, and if I may say so. And so he was like, he knew this female comic who was bipolar, and she would stop taking her bipolar medication a few days before she would go on stage. And he said she would go on stage and fucking kill it. And then he would prescribe her like a dose of lithium, like enough lithium to bring her back down. And it would take a few days the lithium to kind of catch back up with her and even her back out. And she would basically fucking ride the fucking wave of that. But she had such a strict regimen of how to do it that it worked for her. And he's like, you know, I'm going to send you to this doctor that does medical management, like medication management. And he was like, you can kind of figure out what your little formula will be with her, and maybe you can go in that direction at some point too, if you want. But he's like, she's really good at what she does with medications, and you know, you can figure out everything from there. So
obviously I'm not a doctor, but that sounds like that is an awful idea.
Yeah,
playing with fire.
Yeah, like, and just adding more shit to regulate you for not staying on the meds. That seems like a fucking I mean, you know, I don't know.
I don't know either, but I mean, it sounds cool. I mean, he offered me a book to read that kind of explains one person's doctor's story about dealing with for her bipolar. But yeah, I think I need to look more into that and see if I truly do have a bipolar diagnosis at all, even if it is mild. And just, you know, I still have a lot to figure out, I think, with my mental health, but we're working on it, and it's getting better. I appreciate you guys letting me come on here and talk about all this stuff. I know it wasn't I think we had funny moments, but I know it was a little bit different than normal, and I know I talked a lot, but I appreciate it.
Dude, people have I text you something. Read it real quick, Phil. I'm about to ask you something, but no, dude, the listeners, the three of them, they have been, you know, people have asked about you, and when I mention, you know, when I give updates, people have also, I don't know if they've sent shit to that email because I don't have the password. Mm-hmm. But you know, people will, you know, tell me to relay to you that they're praying for you and that they're hoping the best for you and all that.
And hopefully too, by saying some of this stuff, hopefully, even if there's still somebody that's struggling, that's listening to this, hopefully, you know, this can give them a sign of hope. You know, I don't know. Yeah. That'd be the best case scenario.
I wanted to. You had mentioned doing stand up and everything. Was the Richland gig, we'll call it the Richland bombing? Was that your last stand up?
Oh, was it? Since COVID hit, it could have been.
Okay, so
it very well could have been, yeah.
Okay, I want you to go
because
over
I went
that.
really hard. I went really hard into my drug addiction right after that.
Okay,
I mean, it was yeah.
We just for the audience to set it. So we're doing Richland, Washington. Manny's with me. Manny. So I'm headlining at Manny's featuring, and because I was like, oh, fuck, dude, there's nothing better than doing shows with your friends. So I said to Manny, I was like, or Manny and I, I don't know how it came up, but we were saying to Phil, we're like, dude, do you want to come out? maybe do guest spots. You can stay in the room. Manny had 2 beds in his room. So he's like, yeah. So Phil comes out. Again, we drove out there, tears, dying laughing the whole way. And then we got Phil guest spots through the whole weekend. So leading up to Saturday's, the final show. So Phil's doing a guest spot, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. And then the host, who was fucking awful, the host had like this really low energy, and this is how he brought me up. So this next comic, Jay Hollingsworth, he's really funny. He's got a lot of views on YouTube, and here he is. I'm like, what the fuck? So for whatever reason, that guy wasn't at the show Saturday, or he couldn't make it. So the manager goes, well, do you want to have Phil just host? And Manny and I were like, oh yeah. And then we were like, he'll do like 15 minutes up top, and we were like, oh yeah. So I want you to take it from here, Phil. And
just by the way, in the car on the way over, like Manny and Jay both helped. Like I told that cousin story about the threesome, and like we like dug into it deep. Like they both helped tag it up with me and come up with sharp lines for it. Like I felt like it was well on its way to being a pretty well crafted story by the end of that road trip. And so I was feeling good about my set and my attitude about getting on stage, and they say even if things aren't always going well, to just maintain it like it is, because you never know when the laugh might be coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just always keep going, right? Just kind of steamroll. And so
that can be dangerous, man.
So I go up there and I started out.
Before you start, don't forget where you're at, Phil. So those listening know that Phil has to do 15 minutes. He's supposed to do 15 minutes, and he's about to tell you this bombing story. At about 7 minutes in, and it's obvious he is fucking bombing, Manny comes up to me and goes, dude, should we light him? And I go, absolutely not. I may have him go long. I may wait till like 17 minutes. And then we laughed and we laughed. Okay, so now tell your story.
God
Phil.
damn it. I don't think I knew that.
Oh yeah.
So I go up there. I think I get a decent laugh to start off with, and I'm like, okay. And then I go into my next thing, and my next joke doesn't hit not very well. And I'm like, okay. But I'm still like I said, I still have a smile on my face. I'm not going to give into it and be like, oh, you guys didn't like that one? I was like, I'm just going to keep on going and being like, yeah, so anyway. And then I go into my next joke, and even less laughs. And I'm like, okay, well, I do have this, good story that I've been working on. And so I'm like, this has got to be a hit. And so I start going in this story, and they are just like not on my side. Like they don't even like. And
this was the most packed show, right? If I remember right.
Yeah, this had the most people in the whole weekend, and I was so excited because I was like, "Oh, look at all these people! Like it's gonna do well because the laughs are infectious, and like everybody's sitting close together."
Yeah,
like,
when someone laughs, they are infectious.
And so, I'm like, "Fuck!" They don't even like who I am, my face. Like, there's just nothing about these people that like me right now. And so I'm like, this story will bring it back around. And so I start telling the cousin story, and I have all these punchlines set up, and I'm going through it with a smile on my face, and it is like silent. And I'm like, fuck it. And I just keep going. I finish the story, and I'm like, all right, guys, are you ready for your next comic? And I bring up Manny, and I get off stage, and I'm so fucking pissed. I'm pissed.
Well, hold on. But you also, before you brought up Manny, once you got done, I think you said something like, well, you guys fucking hated me or something like that.
I was like, you guys don't got to put up with me anymore, something like that. Like, I'm out of here. Thank God, and I bring up Manny, and I'm like so pissed. And I go up to Jay, and I'm like, what happened? Like, I don't understand what happened. Like, I maintained a good attitude. I did everything in the fucking book that it says you're supposed to do. Like, do your material, do your set, like maintain a smile, and it didn't work. And I thought the jokes were good. I was like, I don't understand.
That's exactly how you did too. Your eyes were all wide. You come fucking just right on the edge of running but walking fast as you come whipping around that corner and come up to me, and then just a mile a minute. What happened? I don't understand. I just fucking.
And Jay's like, yeah, it's because you bombed. that's what a bomb is. I was like,
so good.
fuck, I don't like that.
And then you were like,
Sucks.
this is going to drive me to heroin.
Yeah. So earlier
Yes.
at the beginning of the podcast, I was going to tell a story. I don't know, like I said, if Manny had told you this or not, but because I asked him the next day, which obviously much time has passed. So if you told him by now, it's whatever. But that next morning, I asked Manny not to tell you anything because I didn't want you to know. But I went out later that night. I left Manny. I was like, Manny, I'm out of here. And I went back outside, and oh my God, I jumped in an Uber, and I asked the Uber to like basically try to take me to the sketchiest part of town. And I went to it was like a fucking like $20 to go like to fucking the middle of nowhere. We're in the Tri-Cities. I go to some like bumfuck like part of the downtown area. Nobody's out. It's like 3 a.m. and I see some homeless people walking around. And you know what's crazy about addiction? In addiction, you see people on the street that are homeless that you are like, I would never talk to that person. You're like, ugh, look at them. Like, you know, they're not somebody I would want to associate with.
Okay,
When you're
we
trying
get
to
it,
get-
Phil. Jesus
But when you're
Christ.
trying to get drugs, you're like, what's up, buddy? I'm your new best friend.
Yeah, 'cause he's
You're
wearing
like-
the uniform, man. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, what can I do for you? You know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're walking down the street, and I'm just like, you know, show me where the heroin is. And you know, eventually they fucking took me to some trap house somewhere, and fucking I had to stand there for like fucking 2 hours, like in the cold, in some like stairwell of this house with some weirdly weirdo people, and I'm just standing there like, they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm from out of town doing comedy. And they're like,
Come
oh,
check me
wow,
out, I'll
that's,
be at Mar-
yeah.
Yeah, fucking give him my name. You know, Big Irish J, you guys should come.
Yeah.
I'll get you comp tickets. Just try not to scratch too much in the front row.
They're like, oh, comedy, huh? That's cool.
That was the fucking.
But anyway, yeah. And then I think I rolled back into the hotel room at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., something like that.
Yeah.
Terrible, man. It's like, what
Oh,
the
wait,
fuck
and then
am I
what did
doing,
you
know?
tell Manny? So you roll in at 6 a.m.
I just told him that I think I was kind of honest with him. I think I said something. I was
yeah.
out looking for drugs or something like that. You know, I don't remember if I told him I found any or not, but I just said, you know, like, hey, like I appreciate
Yeah.
it if you just didn't say anything to Jay. But
I
yeah,
remember,
man,
you rolled in at like 6, and then I just remember you took a bath and just laid in the bathtub for like hours. And you know, Jay was like, where's Phil? I was like, oh, he's just sleeping. And then we went out and got breakfast and shit. So
That
Yeah.
the bath thing, didn't you do that, Phil, when we went ghost hunting in Tonopah, Nevada at the Clown Motel?
did I take a bath?
I think so.
Maybe. Well, I know I got pretty wasted the one night. Baths are like a good detox area for me, man. I just love soaking in the bathtub. When I did bath salts one time in Las
man.
Vegas
Fuck.
for the Electric Daisy Carnival. Well, we didn't think we were taking bath salts. We thought we were taking Molly, but it turned out to be bath salts. And everybody else had a bad time. They all went back to the hotel. I was with my buddy, and I was like, hey, man, there's no going back. We can either make a choice to have a good time or have a bad time. And I paid a lot of fucking money for these tickets, so we're having a good fucking time. So we rode the shit out of those bath salts all night long.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
damn.
fuck.
Danced the
That's
fucking
crazy.
night away. Yeah, they were pretty crazy. The keyboard on my phone, like literally it was like Alice in Wonderland. Like the letters were literally melting into themselves as I was looking at
Holy
the phone.
shit.
It was the craziest shit I've ever seen. I've never seen like letters melt. And I was like, wow, it's like my face is melting. That's cool.
And you would have looked like a zombie out there, man.
Oh,
I mean-
yeah. I remember when we got back into the car, like, cause you know my jaw was chattering so bad that I had like
Jesus Christ.
I had like a blue ring pop that I was like sucking on.
Wait,
so
do
bad.
it. What was it?
A blue ring pop that I was sucking on. And when we got back into the car, like I'm sitting in the front seat with the Uber driver, and my friends are all laughing at me because my fucking mouth looked like I blew a Smurf. It was just fucking blue everywhere, all over my lips and shit. And I'm just like, hell yeah, we need to go back to the hotel. Like, it was terrible. But yeah,
Dude,
I got
that's how
naked
you
and
were-
sat in the bath.
That's how you were when I finally realized what was happening with you was after we watched that Doctor Sleep. What was it? That was what was called Doctor Sleep, right?
Yeah,
You came
yeah.
late to the movie. Me and Manny are there. It starts. You come late. You're fucking doing Phil things. Like you're trying to get by people, but you're fucking bumping into everybody. And then you
Yeah.
sit down and you're like, what's going on? And you're fucking all fidgety. And I was like, this motherfucker, what the fuck, man? And then after
Yeah.
the movie, that's when I was like, are you on drugs? And you're like, yeah. And I was like, what? You go heroin. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? And then I think I said something like, dude, you can't be doing that. Or he's like, you need to stop that shit. And you said something that just summed it up. You're like, yeah, it's called addiction, Jay. You're like, I don't want it. I'm not happy. I'm doing it.
Yeah,
like, yeah,
I'm not.
fuck, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that I want to. I can't stop. Yeah.
So now what's moving forward? What's the next steps for you, other than being back on the HollingsWorthless as a regular?
Yeah.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
I love it. Happy to do.
That's
happy
your
to
prize.
Be part of it. Yay. I'll take it. I just got a sponsor this week for the first time. So I
Don't
just got my
fuck
first
him.
sponsor.
You got one before Jay could for this show.
Yeah, I like it.
Alright,
No, that would be the 13th step, Jay, and there's no 13th step, so 12. And so no, there won't be any of that going on.
Keep going.
but yeah,
Keep talking
so
about it.
So he's gonna help me. He's gonna help me work through the steps. I'm going to a meeting every single day. They kind of talk about doing 90 meetings in 90 days. That's just kind of a thing that they kind of talk about and suggest when you're new into recovery. So I'm going for that. I'm reaching for that. And I'm living in the Oxford house. That's helping keep me accountable.
Hey,
For
wait,
the last,
you got to be there in a few hours, right?
yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Dope.
Thanks, Mom. Yeah.
No, I just wondered. I just put that together. Oh, and by the way, go fuck yourself.
Hey Phil,
You filter fish.
I gotta say, man, I'm really proud of you. Like, you know, it's never easy to deal with addiction. I mean, it comes in so many different forms, but to take on that and, you know, to be doing well, man, you know, it's just like you said, a day at a time, and like really proud of you and excited to see what's next. So
Just
Thanks,
suck
man.
his dick, Manny.
The highest
We can't have one
compliment.
moment on this show.
No. I mean, I think it does need to be said. I mean, I would say if somebody asked me, I would say I'm sure Phil knows that we all, we all love you and we are all happy and proud of you for this.
Can I say you want to hear some honesty? I mean, without trying to toot my own horn too much, you said it before. I'm a very likable guy. I like getting people to like me. That's just something I like to do. And so when I'm in treatment, I got a lot of people there that I made laugh and that were liking me. And when I was ready to leave, they all in my group therapy group, they all kind of say something before you leave and say something nice. And everybody was like, we just know you're going to make it. Like, I see success for you. You're such a funny guy. Like you just gotta seem like you got like a lot going for you. And I appreciate hearing that. And it's like, I've always kind of heard that, like people have always said, like, they kind of expect these like big things of me, or just they think that I'm capable of doing big things. And it's like, that it's like there's pressure, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, so if I don't do what other people think I'm capable of, then I guess I'm not what they think I am. I'm just a piece of shit, which is what my inner monologue has been for a long time, because I haven't reached those heights. And so that's what I think some of the things stem from, is just because it's like, well, I haven't gotten there, and everybody says I should be able to, and so if I haven't, then that must mean I'm not who they think I am. So I'm not who I think I am. So I'm just, a big loser, a big piece of shit. But at the same time, I haven't been sober in my adult life really. So.
And also, you said something earlier that you can't be responsible for other people's happiness. So
Yeah.
they can want you
that's true.
to whatever. That's great, but you got to worry about yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I mean, no, that's definitely a thought pattern that I'm working on and changing. But yeah, there's, you know what I mean. It's just a little thing in the back of the head. It's like, man, people always say that shit, and it's just kind of crazy because it's like, well, what if it doesn't happen? Then what does that mean about me? But no, I know you mean it sincerely, and I appreciate it, and I love you guys too, and I thanks for being there for me. Thanks for being my friends. Love you guys.
Who'd you just sound like? What voice is that? Man, thank you for being my friends.
Was it Kermit almost?
I think it was Kermit.
Thanks for being my friends.
So you're how much longer are you in that place at Oxford?
So yeah, I think so. I just got voted in as the president of the house today. I've been there for like a week and a half because the dude that was the president wanted to be the treasurer to deal with all the money going on in the house, and you can't be two positions at once. So he relieved himself of his president duties and took over as treasurer, and then nominated me to be president. And so they all just passed it, and I was just like, did they just try to fuck me over somehow? Like, yeah.
That's cool, man.
But no, yeah, I was like, hey, well, that's cool that they think I'm capable.
So how long are you there till?
But yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think 3 months I think would be a good amount of time, and then my sister still has the apartment that I was living in, and hopefully she keeps that, so I have a place to go back to. But can I tell you this too? This is really exciting. To just kind of, okay. So, I was looking. So these things are everywhere, right? There's clean and sober living houses all over. And just for shits and giggles, the other night I went on Craigslist and I looked up clean and sober living in like LA, and dude, you can find a shared room just like what I'm living in right now for $500 a month in LA.
Nice.
In some really good areas. And I was like, holy shit, like this could happen again. You know what I mean?
Did you also stop by Casual Encounters while you were there?
That's what I was waiting to hear.
Yeah.
So guys, I went to Craigslist and I went to.
Well, how else do you think I'm going to be able to afford $500 a month? Hello. Yeah, and then I told you about with my apprenticeship. I thought I was only halfway through my apprenticeship, which I am per the actual hours that you're supposed to complete. But she had told me that I could journey out early and only need 650 more hours in order to do so. So that's only about 6 months of work, really. So if I put another 6 months of work in, I could potentially journey out early, have my journeyman's card, and be a certified journeyman in the union, which I will have that for the rest of my life to fall back on. So I could potentially get the fuck out of Washington a lot sooner than later, which is
Does your work know about that you've been doing all this?
No. Okay. I said I need some personal time off, so they were, my apprenticeship allows for that.
Hopefully you don't listen to the podcast. Go ahead, Sean.
No, but dude, you are trying to change your shit. That's good, and everybody should be cool with that. And the other thing too is, man, like that's not you just saying, hey, dude, yeah, just think like 2 years from now I could do this. Like you can actually, that is a real tangible thing that you're already in. That's pretty dope. You're in a good spot, man.
Yeah. There's, I can see
that.
Yeah, I can see the goals are tangible, like you said. Yeah, they're realistic.
Realistic. Yeah.
And also, can I just say, I did want to shout out some people that do listen. They actually got a hold of me by sending us emails to hwppod@gmail.com. That's hwppod@gmail.com.
Yes. And why are you giving that email, Phil?
Because that is the HollingsWorthless podcast's email for fan mail. So if you're a fan of the podcast and you'd like to send a comment or have a question or just say hi, send us an email to hwppod@gmail.com.
All right, go to the shout outs.
But yeah, so we got two.
I was like, are we going to be here for another hour?
Yeah.
Oh, no, this will be like 3 minutes.
But yeah, I just quickly, and I think you got CC'd on this one by Kev. I don't know if you read it or not, but Kevin said, thank you, Kevin, for the email. He says, hey, lads, glad to hear Phil is 40-plus days sober and coming back to podcast. As smooth as the transitions are with Manny, Kane, and Sean, I miss the uncomfortable conversation killing stoppages at times. Hope all is well with dealing with COVID nonsense, Kev.
Yep.
He misses the train wreck that I am. And then
the other one, weirdly enough, the dude that blew me from Craigslist. Phil, where have you been? I've missed you.
That would be under missed connections, Jay, on Craigslist. So, this one was from Elizabeth J, and she is awesome, I want to say, and has offered me a lot of support and help. And I'll just say, she said, Phil, I was just listening to the latest episode of the pod. It was super awesome to hear you were going to rehab. I had reached out on, I guess, I don't even know how to read IG messages. Maybe you guys can help me out with that. I had reached out on IG actually, when you opened up on the pod back in February. My offer still stands, which I never met that message, but if you need help finding meetings or anything like that when you come home, I'm more than happy to help. I know a few people in the Tacoma recovery community who can suggest safe and good meetings and people to have in your circle. Personally, I'm so looking forward to hearing about your experience in Olalla. That is my neck of the woods, and I've heard good things about that place. So excited to have sober Philly back on the pod and in our lives. So that was really
awesome.
nice to hear from
That's
Elizabeth.
great, man. That's cool.
Just so Elizabeth knows, I don't have access to that email. Phil is responsible for that. So I never saw that message. You know, if you were like, this fucking Jay's a piece of shit, he doesn't even respond. I never have had access to that. So
and I will text you the password so we could both keep tabs on it. If for whatever reason I can't be on. Okay.
No, Phil, I like it like this. You know why, Sean?
Yeah. Totally. Yep. It says, yeah.
This is your. That's why you need to be here, Phil.
The email segment.
All right, so let's wrap this up.
Cool.
Manny, you got anything you want to plug or anything?
Yeah, check me out on Love in Black and White. Let's see, this week, Election Day, we'll be dropping our episode, so make sure. Well, when is this coming out? Is this coming out on?
This will come out the day after.
Oh, okay. So,
so go back and listen to the one that came out yesterday.
There you go.
For me, every day's Erection Day.
So stupid.
Oh, God.
That's all I got. Follow me at Manny Martin Jr. on everything.
Manny Martin Jr. All right, Sean.
Love you,
are you back on the road,
Love
Sean?
You, buddy.
No, not yet. But we're still getting the tour together. I think we're gonna kick off in PA at Dawn's Comedy Hut. But just keep on my Instagram at the McCannibal to get the latest info.
Phyllis?
I am Phil Fox at Like the Animal, because it's Fox Like the Animal, on everything. And I haven't worked on this yet, but now that I'm out of treatment, I promised I would, and I will. I also have an IG project that I'm working on that's Lil Granny's Boy. The freshest, hottest rapper in the PNW coming out. I have one picture on there, and I'm going to put rap videos of me rapping in front of my grandma. So
look at Sean.
Oh, I love it.
Phil, look at Sean.
Phil.
I saw his pussy.
What did you see? It's a toast thing?
Yeah.
It's so
Sean,
cool.
Phil, Phil does not. He doesn't give a fuck about your cat, Sean.
Yes, I see his cat. It has a neck thing on its head.
Do you understand that he's got a kitten? His cat died.
Yeah,
and
this is the whole big thing I wanted to announce.
Well, I didn't know it was a new cat.
Well, because I think you're a little caught up in your stupid little granny's boy.
It's the dopest. No, you got some fresh puss, huh? That's cool, man.
Nice,
Number
man.
2 attempt at getting
Glad
that
you're back.
fucking joke out
What's
there.
its name?
Try number 2. This is Baby Pearl.
I love
Oh,
it.
little baby
Adorable.
pearl. I love that color.
Yes.
I know.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
that's what the cat that I had that my ex-girlfriend took away from me. It looked kind of similar to that color.
She took the pussy
love
away when you broke up. See how it's funny when I do it?
That's a great joke, dude. That was
Thanks, man, dude. Just off the
Good
top of my
timing.
head. Just
Oh, it's so
fucking just
good.
thought it up right then.
I think it's your delivery.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
You know.
You're giving me cat
Absolutely.
scratch fever.
Jay, so what do you have coming up?
What the fuck does that mean? Oh my God. I'll be at Notoriety Theater this coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday here in Las Vegas, the 7th and 8th. Yeah, shows are at 9 o'clock Saturday and Sunday, and I'm at
Nice.
Big Irish Jed everywhere. Oh God. But
Also, you can find me in AA and NA meetings. So if you're an addict, sorry, Jay.
Yeah.
no, Phil, we love you. We're glad you're back. Happy to have you back.
Love you,
and
buddy.
for the listeners, Phil will be back every week moving forward, as long as you stay fucking sober.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hey, I got to get my 60-day coin in 8 days.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Dude,
Hell yeah.
let's celebrate. We'll go get fucking hammered, do some drugs. Let's fucking.
Hey, you don't tempt me with a good time.
All right. Oh, Phil, we got to sign off. It's Sean's favorite part.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
Great.
Oh, fuck, I did it opposite. Oh, God, no.
You're out of practice. We'll let it go.
Wait, here
Ready?
we go. Ready? All right.
Bye.